Huh. All right. So, welcome to the stream, everybody. It's Monday night. That means it's time for some Soulherder. So, in the last few days, I've been playing a 60 card deck. After playing with an 80 card deck for I don't even know when we started being able to do this, time has taken on kind of a weird aspect with companions kind of just destroying modern. And and before companion, all the other cards that were destroying modern. So I don't know if it was 1 month playing with Urian or 2 months playing with Urian, but I've been playing with 80 cards for a long while now. And going back to 60 has been kind of interesting transition, I'd say. I always look over to the side and I see the little heart. I expect to see the little heart emblem in Magic Online where I want to normally cast Urian, but it's not there. It's actually in the main deck now. So anyhow, I thought I would start the stream today by looking at a few of the spoilers that have been going up over the last few days well, I've been seeing them on Reddit mainly, but also I just go to the website. I think it's like mythicspoiler.com. They have a nice interface, pretty easy to sort of look through all the different cards, organized by color. Let me check if there are any of you guys around on Discord. So, live now. Gonna discuss some of the spoilers. Come, let me know your opinions. All right, so let's while I wait for a few of you guys to get here, I feel like maybe I can just really briefly give you the once over on the deck. There tend to be so many different cards in Soulherder decks that I can't really fit everything onto the screen. Basically the mana base is pretty normal. I've got the one Overgrown Tomb to support the one Siege Rhino. No basic swamp. I think if you've got literally one black symbol in your 75, you don't really want a basic swamp. I am sort of hedging with the dorks. I got the 2 Birds of Paradise instead of just running 4 Noble Hierarchs. Somebody had mentioned why not Wall of Roots in the Discord, and the reason is I'm running Force of Negation now that I'm back to 60 cards. So seems like with 60 cards, you're going to have a much better chance than with 80 to draw the forces, and you're also going to be able to run enough blue cards to support the forces when you do draw them. In 80 cards, it just felt like I was drawing force less, and because of the variance of the 80 cards, I was just drawing the supporting blue cards not frequently enough. So anyhow, with 60 cards, I'm back on Coiling Oracle, so 4, 8, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, exactly 20 cards, including the forces themselves. And it's felt fine, the 20 blue cards. And it's a really powerful spell, particularly in combination with Eternal Witness, just being able to buy it back, drawing lots of cards that we can pitch to Force of Negation. I played against Burn for the first time in a couple months, playing Force of Negation with Soulherder, and it went pretty well. Looking at the sideboard, it's sort of a modified version, sort of a mishmash of the 60 card sideboard I was running before Urian came out, and the sideboard that I've been running with Urian in the 80 card lists. All of these silver bullet creatures. Now that we started running Chord of Calling, now that I'm on 60, I'm still on Chord. I feel like that was a nice development in the deck. The last stream I did, I sort of explained a little bit about how my perception of Soulherder as a strategy has evolved. I mean, I probably played at this point like well over 1,000 matches with Soulherder, and most of those were with 60 cards, most of those matches. And I sort of came to have an impression that like I didn't really want to run that many Soulherders because they kind of stink in the early part of the game. They just get killed by things like Lava Dart. I came to the conclusion that I didn't want to run Dorks because what are we ramping into? Like Soulherder that just gets killed by a Lava Dart? Are we ramping into a Knight of Autumn? I mean, these are not the most powerful plays in Modern, right? So I had a number of conclusions that I had drawn after running 60-card Soulherder decks for a long time. Then we all started running the 80-card lists with Chord of Calling. We upped our, well, really all points in the curve, but when you start to expand the 4-drop and 5-drop slot, suddenly you're like doubling or more the number of sort of splashy spells, right? Like, so if in the 60-card deck in the past we were running like a single Thragtusk or a single Deep Forest Hermit, something like that. Now in the 80-card decks we were running, I can just show you guys what I was running. I had 4 Siege Rhinos, Stonehorn, Lavinia, Restoration Angel, Venser, a lot of pretty powerful 4 and 5 mana effects, and sort of got used to the feeling of ramping into these powerful spells, and on the way to ramping to those powerful spells, potentially dropping a Soulherder onto the battlefield. And that strategy began to feel pretty strong. And obviously, when Urian was spoiled, the day of, sorry, not spoiled, but printed and released on Magic Online, Aspiring Spike just immediately posted a 5-0 list. So he was running ramp into Avalanche Riders. So that's an example of, playing a Noble Hierarch on turn 1, playing a Soulherder on turn 2, and then playing a powerful 4-drop ETB effect on turn 3. So that curve just came to feel really strong in the 80-card lists, particularly since we always had Urian as something to ramp towards and blink whatever value we established earlier. I'm kind of carrying some of those observations from the 80-card list into the 60-card list that I'm running now. I still do like the plan of ramping into strong effects. So, play a Hierarch on turn 1, play a Soulherder on turn 2. And in this build, I've got Stonehorn, Venser, Siege Rhino, Urian itself. I don't know if it's a female or male, so I'm going to just continue to call it an it instead of a he or a she. And then Lavinia. Some people have questioned whether running Stonehorn and Lavinia in the main deck is not excessive, but I think it's actually pretty good. Both of them can stop aggressive decks from attacking us, which is obviously incredibly important. There's a ton of kind of aggressive strategies in Modern. So just naturally drawing either of these two is often very good. They do slightly different things. So if you're playing against Jund and they have a bunch of Planeswalkers out, like Lavinia is going to lock those Planeswalkers down, which can actually go a really long way towards helping us stabilize in those matchups. And Stonehorn just stops combat. So and they're slightly different in the sense that Lavinia can't stop like Reality Smashers at 5 CMC. She only detains things with 4 CMC or less. And Stonehorn doesn't care what the CMC is. He just kind of eliminates combat, and his ability stacks. So they are different cards, different CMCs. So when we get Chord online, we might only be able to get Stonehorn. And if we have access to Lavinia, that's a nice option to have. At 5 CMC, we might want to go get Urian instead. But with Chord as sort of one of the central parts of the strategy, it's nice having a diversity of mana costs. And again, I do like the feeling of ramping into strong effects and not just sort of packing the deck full of 2-drops and 3-drops, which was kind of what we wanted to do sort of back before Urian was a thing. Like, we were really maxing out our 2s and 3s, really minimizing the numbers of 4s and 5s, just like maybe 2 and 2 or something like that. All right. So anyhow, without further ado, let's go ahead and chat a little bit about some of these spoilers. First up, I guess, since this popped up, is this Solemn Simulacrum. I have to say, I think Wizards has really stepped up their game with just the visual appeal of some of their card designs. I think they've just finally realized that Magic players are pretty much universally just massively in favor of full art versions of cards. When the art bleeds to the edge of the card, just the image of the card and the art is so much more powerful than just framing it into a little tiny box. You know, they've learned that they can sort of ghost a little bit through the text box. So you can see this this robot sort of all the way through. I think it's just gorgeous. I would ask what your guys' opinion is, but I don't see how you could really find much wrong with this. I mean, first of all, it's a sick reprint. It's a great card. I didn't see a ton of modern play. As far as I know, it's only kind of a staple in Mono Blue Tron. But anyhow, it's just really, really gorgeous. And after Solemn Simulacrum, maybe we can go ahead and sort of continue the discussion on beautiful art direction to these new basic lands. We have the island so far spoiled, and the plains. Those are the only two that have been sort of shown so far. And not exactly sure why we've got subtly different things going on with some of the frame elements. I think that it has something to do with, like, this island is kind of a Teferi island, so you can see it's got these little notches at the end of the bar. It's got a full point here in the middle, and then just the art around the little mana symbol here, I think, is supposed to evoke some of the art that's in the newer Teferi Planeswalker cards. But overall, I mean, it's kind of nice that it has this sort of gray stone frame. I think that just sort of makes it clear that that lands are colorless. I kind of like that that look. If you look at the planes, we've got a similar but different actual outline, right? Like, I might expect the actual frame of the lands to be the same, even if like this is a Teferi island and this might reference like another Planeswalker. But yeah, they went ahead and actually just did like a unique outer frame for this as well. You can see even here around the mana symbol box, or the text box, I guess, some little flourishes. I guess each of these islands is supposed to, sorry, not islands, but basic lands are supposed to be on different planes, right? And I guess I recognize this as being Amonkhet since it's got the pyramids. So yeah, just trying to, I guess, evoke a bit of the Amonkhet sort of flavor. We've got a bit of a sort of desert twister kind of vibe going on here. I love the little park that we can see through the middle here with these little palm trees. If it was just a bunch of boxes, you know, trying to make it look like a dust-clouded city, you know, might not really be that impactful, but just like getting these few little trees in there, I think just adds so much to this art. And I guess, again, the reason I'm mentioning these is that I just think the direction is so unique. You see the point here, they kind of break that here with a little scoop. It's just the fact that they're not just doing what they've done year after year after year, particularly in core set, where they just use the current frame and they just hire an artist, you know, to come up with art for new planes and new islands. You know, they actually have people designing a special frame for this island in this set, and I think that's pretty special. And I'm sort of excited to see what the other three basic lands look like. Okay, so one more card just to talk about art direction. It seems like there's a whole bunch of Chandra cards that have already been spoiled that have their own sort of special frame. You've just got the art kind of bleeding into a really fiery outer frame, sort of semi kind of transparent, seemingly, maybe reflective text boxes, really bold kind of golden outlines on things. And then most of all, you've got these cool flames down at the bottom. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a thing for like all the colors in this set. Like if everything will have, like if blue will have its own subtle frame variations, but this is not so subtle, right? This is pretty bold, pretty obvious art direction here. So I love that they're mixing it up so much, putting a lot of effort and obviously resources and money into just getting cool looking cards printed. I think, you know, we can all appreciate that. All right, so yeah, that's just 4 examples of cool art so far. That's the thing that sort of struck me the most. Today we had a spoiler called Ritos de Pueblo, and it's 1 black. It's in Instantáneo, which obviously is an instant. And I think it roughly translates to what they have up here, where it says village rights. Pueblo sort of means village. Ritos is the rights of the village. Como coste adicional para lanzar este hechizo, sacrifica una criatura, roba dos cartas. So, as an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. And then draw 2 cards. So there was another spell that has existed in Magic for, I think it's from Innistrad. Something about an altar. I can't think of it right now, but this card just is like strictly better because it's got the same exact text box, but this spell is 1 black and the other one is 1 black and 1 generic. So at 1 CMC versus 2. It's obviously got a much better chance of seeing play than maybe it's called Altar's Reap. I think that's the name of the card. That's a 2-drop for the same effect. The reason I'm bringing this up is, in our deck, Soulherder, if we play something like an Icefang Coatl, right, and maybe we pass the turn to the opponent and they attack with some big creature and we just block and then play this spell and just sacrifice I'm trying to say Coiling Oracle. That's kind of what I meant to say. Coiling Oracle. Block with the Coiling Oracle. Cast this, sacrifice it, and now we've drawn 2 cards. We drew 1 off of the Oracle already. Just seems like it could have a lot of value in a deck like ours where so many of the creatures either draw us cards or generate other kinds of value. And, if we run it as a singleton, it seems like it could rarely be bad. Obviously, it needs to be in a deck that's running the Black Splash, like for Siege Rhino. But yeah, you run it as a singleton, you draw it, you're going to have tons of dorks, little flying 1/1s and non-flying 1/1s and 2/2s, and it seems like this could be a pretty amazing card. Like if you attack, make a big attack, opponent just chooses one of your random dorks to block, and whichever one they block, you just cast this and sack that creature, draw 2 cards. Seems pretty solid. So yeah, anyhow, who knows what's going to happen with this card. Seems like it could potentially see play in Modern. Not exactly sure what shell would look to play it. Maybe could actually see a lot of play in something like Black-White's tokens, right? So you play Bitter Blossom, sacrifice a little fairy, and draw 2 cards. Seems pretty strong. Interested to know what you guys think about the playability of this 1 black mana instant. All right, and then last but not least, probably the spoiler that's going to affect Soulherder the most. We've got this full art Containment Priest. So I believe Containment Priest started its existence as a commander card. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But 2-drop, 2/2, pretty basic sort of hate bear stats. It's a human, which is a little bit obnoxious since humans is clearly the best tribe in Modern as things stand. Most consistently winning. I mean, Merfolk is the best tribe. Humans just is currently winning a little bit more often. So what does Containment Priest do, and why does it concern Soulherder? Well, you flash this guy in for 2, and as soon as it hits the battlefield, it's going to start having this static effect. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. So how do creatures enter the battlefield without being cast? Well, they get cheated into play with things like Through the Breach, that new Planeswalker, the red Planeswalker Luca. Basically, they're like you sack a creature and you search your deck for like the next creature in it, and like you put it on the battlefield and that kind of stuff. I guess like Collected Company, you put creatures onto the battlefield without casting it. Court of Calling obviously hits a little closer to home with us. But really, the thing that Containment Priest sort of wrecks us, the way that it wrecks us the hardest is it just kind of hoses the blink mechanic, right? Because every single time we blink something, it leaves the battlefield, and then obviously it comes back to the battlefield. So that's going to obviously concern Containment Priest's text, because if a Coatl comes back or wants to come back to the battlefield, and Containment Priest is on the battlefield, it says, yeah, you're just going to exile that Coatl, right? So the biggest blowout would be like if I cast Urian, and I just exile my entire board of creatures. And then sometime before my end step, the opponent plays a Containment Priest. Basically, if I exiled 4 creatures, those 4 creatures are never coming back. They're just going to be permanently exiled. So pretty massive blowout potential. If the opponent does play Containment Priest, you know, there is a window where we could kill the Containment Priest before our creature would want to come back, but it's a card that could obviously hit us pretty hard based on that. Excuse me, that interaction. Now, I think what we should be asking ourselves is, do we think that Containment Priest is going to see more, less, or roughly equivalent play as Torpor Orb, right? Because Torpor Orb is a really, really powerful Magic card, right? It's just 2 mana artifact, shuts off ETBs, right? So if a deck wants access to that kind of a thing, they've had access to it for a long time. There's also a new creature that does a similar thing. I'm sort of blanking on it right now. Feel like it's a bird or something. Why am I not thinking of this? It's a pretty popular card, and I've been hosed by it a lot of times. It's just Torpor Orb on a body, and I feel like the last time I've seen any of that effect, Torpor Orb or this creature version of Torpor Orb has been it's been months, I think. Maybe I saw 1 Torpor Orb in the last month or so. Like somebody played a Baby Karn and then they got a Torpor Orb and they played it. So yeah, the question is this going to see more play than that? What do you guys think about that? So Swizzy, you say you can't wait to get blown out by this after Urian. Well, it's definitely going to happen at some point, right? I mean, it's a very real possibility. We might, if it does see play, we might just really want to play more paths, like four paths in the main deck. In my current 60, which I was showing earlier, I'm just running 1 path right now, leaning more on like our creature ETBs to deal with problematic creatures and other permanents. So anyhow, I think my answer is I currently don't expect this to see massive amounts of play. I don't think that creatures entering the battlefield by non-casting methods, I don't think those kinds of strategies are like dominating Modern right now. Containment Priest can kind of shut down Ether Vial, right? Like I activate Ether Vial, they flash in Containment Priest, and that just means like if I put a creature into play, it just goes straight into exile. So I can choose not to put a creature into play with Ether Vial. So obviously I would do that. It just kind of shuts the Ether Vial down. They're pretty powerful, I guess, against like humans, for example, clearly against Merfolk. But, I mean, how many Vial decks do you really see in any given day in Modern, right? I think you can much more safely sort of expect to see Urza decks, Burn decks, Prowess decks. Not really sure if they're cheating in non-creatures, right? And so how many decks are really going to play Containment Priest because of humans? Probably very few. How many people are going to play Containment Priest because of Blink strategies? I mean, probably very few, right? Because Blink strategies are like a tiny fraction of 1% of the metagame. So Trogdor, you don't think this will see much play, maybe if Humans jumps in the meta? Yeah, obviously, you know, it's a really nice card to have access to as metagames shift around. If somehow, like, Unburial Rites or Through the Breach becomes a big thing, or if Luca somehow like blows up in popularity, yeah, sure, maybe people might run Containment Priest as like a 1 of or a 2 of, but that's probably about it. I mean, even with all of the decks running Karn the Great Creator, you still don't see a lot of Torpor Orbs in play, so I don't know. We probably don't have to be that concerned with this card. Yeah, so to wrap up my little spoiler discussion here, I think this card could be very interesting in the Black Splash, given how much value we create with all our little creatures. I think some of the art direction in this set is just stunning. Like this particular piece of art is really, really beautiful with all these interesting reflections on the robot. But just like going more consistently full frame is stunning. I just think it's really, really nice. And creating unique basics for each set, like not just the art, but the frames, I really love it. You know, whether you want to play this particular island in your deck or not, just like breaking out of the mold from the last like 20 years of Magic, where it's just been like basic land frame with like a little rectangular new art. Like this is really fresh. Obviously extremely unique. Same thing with this Plains, just gorgeous. I expect this to see like play in a lot of decks just based on how pretty it is. All right, so yeah, that's gonna be it, I guess, for the spoiler discussion. Unless you guys have any other spoilers you'd like to discuss. Gonna go ahead and just close Chrome. Yeah, and so I'm gonna play some 60 card Soulherder tonight. Not sure how many matches. I'm starting a little bit earlier this evening. I had an appointment that was canceled, so I get to start a little earlier, end a little bit earlier. Yeah, paintball. They changed the rules. I think it was like this week, maybe last week. They said modern Soulherder decks are now allowed to play 60 if they want to. So I'm just trying out that new rule adjustment in tonight's stream. So sideboard adjustments. I've got the Spore Frog, which would have won me a game against humans on my last stream, which I guess was like a couple days ago. Not sure. There we go. All right. So Spore Frog, just like really excited. Look at this guy. He's got like little smokestacks on his back. And he's just such a happy looking little guy. Very powerful effect in combination with Chord of Calling. Just to shut off an entire attack step. You know, Prowess is an amazing deck. If they get down a turn 2, Kiln Fiend, untap, and play like 5 spells, they're throwing like 20 damage at you. Just go and Chord for Spore Frog. You shut it down. Love it. Grab it back from the graveyard with Eternal Witness. Get it back on the battlefield. Protect it. If the opponent tries to get it on your turn, we can potentially ephemerate it. Just a cool effect to have access to. Some of you guys probably know that I had been trying with 60 cards playing just a Singleton Fog. Now that we're on, and that goes back to when I was on like Eladamri's Call. So Eladamri's Call, not super amazing with Spore Frog, since we couldn't like call and then play Spore Frog right away on our opponent's turn, unless you have Ether Vial. But now that we're playing with Chord of Calling, this just seems like a no-brainer to me. Yeah, I agree, Paintball Demon. It's I'm excited about this new 60 card rule. So I'm gonna just play some cues tonight, guys. I hope that's okay with y'all. Don't feel like going like super hard this evening. I also the opponent just like got snaked just the second that I clicked. So now I have to wait for another opponent. Are there any other spoilers that you guys are interested in for any different decks, even if it's not Soulherder? Can you guys hear the helicopters outside my apartment if we listen? They're coming to get me. It's just like with these protests that have been going on. There have been news helicopters and police helicopters like all over the place, just for like 2 weeks now. Just waiting for an opponent to join, so I feel like I could look at the deck for a minute or two. I had a nice match against Burn yesterday where they they utterly destroyed me in game 1. I kind of like when that happens, because you've got these people playing like obviously powerful decks, and you lost because you mulliganed and you had a ridiculously bad hand, and then you just draw normally the next couple games and just beat them, and they're like, oh man, I lost to like this janky brew. It's like, yep, you lost to the janky brew. My build in particular has a good amount of life gain at each sort of step in the mana curve. We've got Charming Prince, Knight of Autumn, Uro, Siege Rhino. After sideboarding, I'm going to have like Burrentin. It doesn't directly gain life, but does prevent a lot of damage being done from their attacks and from their spells if you choose to sack it to counter something. I used to have an Auriok champion somewhere in the mix, but looks like I don't have that in this current sideboard. My brews, they're spicy. Got some red pepper, some black pepper. Oh, I hate waiting, sitting around like come on guys, let's play some Magic. You know you want to. Oh yeah. So anyhow, nobody answered if they could hear the helicopters a few minutes ago. Curious like what my microphone picks up and doesn't pick up. This sideboard, compared to my 80 card sideboard, has more non-creature spells for sure. This sort of harkens back to when I had like a pretty much mostly non-creature sideboard without Court of Calling. Just had like a couple creatures. It was back when I ran Stonehorn in the sideboard, and I was running like Singleton Veil, Singleton Ceremonious, etc. But you can see even here, like I've still got a couple Pithing Needles, a couple Teferis. Very strong effects that as 1-ofs and 2-ofs are just like significantly more likely to find their way into your hand in a 60 card deck than an 80 card deck. Can you guys hear it now? It's pretty loud. Maybe I can rotate my mic. No? No, no helicopters? I mean, the mic I've sort of set up the configuration so that it eliminates pretty much any noise other than me. So it's actually probably pretty cool that you can't hear the loud helicopter in the background. So anyhow, I had asked if any of you had any spoilers that you're interested in. Also, are there any cards that you've been running in 60 or 80 that have just been kind of like amazing for you lately? Either, force or no force. I know Winds of Abandon makes for some fun blowouts. I like having Worship back in the deck. It got me a game against humans a couple days ago. It is very different from Stonehorn. Like, Worship is amazing against burn, because it sort of locks your life total into place, whereas Stonehorn just prevents combat, so doesn't do anything against burn spells. This is a little bit ridiculous how long this is taking. Let me go see if maybe people just know me by name now and know that I'm just like not to be trifled with, so nobody wants to join my queue. So yeah, I don't know. We just need to get the Jeopardy music playing in the background. Do 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 do. Da dun 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 da 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 da. Ay, very entertaining stream so far. It's painful. Maybe I can just sing for you guys a little bit more. Let's check out my 80 card deck while we're waiting, I guess. I could just play Tournament Practice or something if nobody wants to play a queue. One card that I do miss a lot is Wall of Roots in my 60 card list. It just doesn't really work if we're trying to get Force of Negation online with all of our blue spells. Wall of Roots is unfortunately not blue. Would be a little bit busted if it were blue. Are you talking about anything in particular, Paintball Demon, like Uro? Or, Force of Negation probably, right? I don't even know where Force of Negation is right now, price-wise. Man, I'm trying to start early this evening, but... I think we found somebody, guys. Some sucker who wants to play a game against me. Okay, we won the die roll. Very interesting name. Arditi Ishi. One Shi. I'm going to roll the dice and keep this hand. We could potentially force if the opponent tries to kill our Noble Hierarch. Opponent kept 7 as well. Yeah. These things are expensive. And, I don't know what would change the expensiveness. Oh, you know what? Not really sure what I'm playing against, but I guess it's probably goblins, right? This seems like a good thing to actually just counter. So we're not going to have Death Touch online for a while, so I'm probably just going to pitch the Coatl, I guess, whatever. You guys agree with this play? I like generally forcing Ether Vial if I can. Land is actually pretty good, and I'd actually kind of like to hit another land with Oracle. Let's see how it goes. All right, well, you know, we drew a card. Opponent knows about it. This can now tap for black mana, which is actually super relevant for Siege Rhino. So any land gets Siege Rhino online right now. Unless they, I guess they're gonna Croxa me. Oh, Brutality. Yeah, no instant or sorcery, so the opponent, I guess, just wasting sort of their, well, they pitch a Bloodghast. All right, so they're slowing our mana down. Not a huge deal. But they do get to see what I have. I guess I sort of have to get blue-white here. I think Prairie Stream is still my only blue-white land in the deck. Still sort of thinking about that. I'd like to play a land, so I'm going to go ahead and play out the Coatl right now. All right, well. Ephemerate is an amazing card. Not really complaining, but we are missing our land drop. I did keep a one-lander, right? So I'm definitely not complaining about missing a land drop. It's just, let's see. What is this? Discard a card. Oh, we're playing against a vampire deck. These Qs are so much fun. Discard a card. Vampires you control get +1 to the end of turn. Activate it only once each turn. All right. Are they missing their land drop too? Looks like they are. Well, that was a sick draw, because now I can play birds and hold up Ephemerate. Actually, you know, I'll probably... Now, odds are, it being kind of more of a creature deck than to just like a discard and removal-based deck, odds are they're not going to kill both of our dudes next turn, so I feel like I could probably just Ephemerate now and do my best to hit a land. So, this thing doesn't have flying, right? Even though it's a vampire. So I guess I'll go ahead and attack with the Coatl. And then I'm going to Ephemerate the Coatl. I pointed this out on a number of streams, but if you have, I mean, in many, many situations, particularly past your end step and inside the opponent's turn, it's generally better to Ephemerate the Oracle, because if there is a land on top of the deck, it goes straight onto the battlefield. But right now, with no lands in hand, it's just almost like strictly better just to Ephemerate the Coatl, because it hides information, and if I get a land, I can just play it anyway. All right, we drew a land. Pretty sick. So we'll play our birds, and next turn we should be able to play Siege Rhino, even without cracking the Windswept Teeth. Urborg hooking us up. All right. Bloodghast coming back. Certainly no haste yet. Let's see what the opponent has at 3 mana. Okay. First strike, other vampires get +1 and have first strike. Okie dokie. I mean, I'll probably just play Stonehorn next turn. All right, everybody's got first strike. Now, if I'm going to have access to black all game, there's no reason for me to actually go fetch it. So I should probably just get either more green or white. But I guess maybe even Death Touch isn't going to be that relevant, since these guys all have first strike for now, and I've only got the one path in the deck. So I will just get my Canopy Vista for now, I guess. Or, yeah, Canopy Vista, just so we don't top deck it. We have the 2 Tango lands out now. Paintball Demon, I kind of like your idea, but... So here I will be ephemerating our friend Coiling Oracle. I could play Urian right now, but probably better to get Stonehorn out and then cast Urian. In which case, I'm just going to say no here and just try to save a bit of life, even though it probably doesn't matter too much. Yeah, so good draws. Good draws against, like, the black-red weenie deck. So next turn is going to be Lavinia, probably followed up by Siege Rhino, probably then followed up by Urian. I imagine this deck is going to play Croxus, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have to discard some stuff at some point. Whenever this guy or a vampire dies, put +1 counters. All right. I'm not going to kill any of you guys. You guys are my friends. Okie dokie. Maybe it's like an Aristocrats deck, and they're going to start draining me out. Okay. Things getting pretty hot over here. Discard a card. This just buffs the creatures. That's not going to do anything. This just buffs the creatures. That's not going to do anything. All right. Nothing has flying, right? So just going to keep on doing our thing here. Playing 4 drops and 5 drops against this little deck seems solid. All right, so yeah, I'm pretty sure nothing has flying, even though they're all vampires, which is pretty weird. We're gonna get in. I could just play Soulherder next turn, and then it can get big with Urian. Seems like probably the way to go. All right, another Lord. These guys are getting pretty beefy over there. Opponent just passes it back. Let's see, 7 mana. I'm not gonna have that yet, no matter what. To double spell this turn, so I can still get in the air. Now, something like a bolt or a push could disrupt the Soulherder action. But I don't think we die, if that's the case. I can still block a bunch of stuff. So I think the play is to go for the Soulherder and then try to make it really big. All right, we are just gonna blink that thing, I guess. Maybe I should have blinked Lavinia, now that I'm thinking about it. Now, hang on a sec. Do they have anything that lets them sack stuff? No, I don't think so, right? Because that could trigger Revolt. Revolt? Yeah, on Fatal Push. All right, so opponent's probably going to be looking to remove this Soulherder. But at the moment, we've got pretty nice board state. I don't think it wouldn't have been any different really had I blinked Lavinia, because if they have some kind of activated abilities on creatures that they play out, all right, well, apparently the opponent didn't really draw anything that great. Wow. All right, so the hand just keeps getting better and better. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Coatl. Gonna play out the Witness, get Ephemerate, which just gives us backup. This almost seems unfair. If it weren't so, like, utterly fair. I mean, opponent is doing pretty, like, OG Magic stuff. Like, play a bunch of creatures and play lords. I guess we'll go with Stonehorn again. And I'm pretty much just going to hold up this Ephemerate, probably for the rest of the game, just to protect the Soulherder. Cavern of Souls. It's a good one. All right, we can, let's see. I have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, plus 1, 8. We're getting sort of close to being able to just, like, Ephemerate the Lavinia and Alpha Strike. But, you know, opponent's not doing anything to just stop us from getting in the air. And now I guess I'll just... I guess it's time to Urian, right? Like, stop messing around. You know what? Hang on a sec. Maybe I should just Siege Rhino first. I guess Siege Rhino first makes sense. It doesn't really matter. It's all such, like, overkill. I could blink the Siege Rhino and then Ephemerate, but I'm just going to keep blinking Stonehorn. There's no rush. Now, opponent is kind of flooding out. I'm sure they don't play too many lands. All right. So now it's time for Urian, but let's attack first. Again, I could just Ephemerate Lavinia and probably just attack for the win. Just being conservative. If I just play it sort of calmly, I don't really think there's any way that they can beat what's happening here. I don't know if they can beat anything like Ephemerating Lavinia. I guess that they could potentially just like push the Soulherder, but they don't have any way to trigger Revolt. So, whatever. Blue, green, white, and then auto tap. All right, here we go. Blink, 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 blink. Okie dokie. That's a good Urian right there. So we are going to, let's see, we want to do the Soulherder trigger first so that Urian stuff returns. Opponent just concedes. Okay, just saving a bit of time for both of us. I doubt this matchup is ever going to go to time. It's such an aggressive deck. Probably right to scoop there. So that was a fun first game. Let's see if we have anything that we want to sideboard in. Certainly Spore Frog. I don't think Black-Red has any way to deal with a Resolved Worship. Purges and Winds seem pretty good. It's possible that Burrenton is pretty good, but it's pretty much a black deck. We haven't really seen, we didn't see like bolts and any significant sort of red effects in the deck. Veil of Summer can blow out like a Collective Brutality if they want to run any black things that target us, really. But we haven't really seen much, so I'm kind of leaning towards not bringing in Veil, since it's mostly just a creature deck. So yeah, all these cards are really solid. So then what do I want to bring out? I think Knight can come out. Life gain is relevant, but without any enchantments or artifacts to blow up, I think Knight is a little bit extra. We didn't see a ton of removal. We saw Collective Brutality, which is -2/-2, right? So it doesn't really bother Deputy, so I'll keep that guy in. I'm going to board out all the forces, and that should bring us like to a pretty sweet spot. So if we go down forces, we just pretty much like strictly improve the main deck here with fogs and worship and removal. See, if I had joined a league, we wouldn't get to see any of this sweet new vampire tech. Possible the opponent is going to sideboard in like something like Damnation, in which case we might want to look to play out Urian maybe earlier than we might otherwise, if we draw it, and particularly if we have Ephemerate in hand, because then we can save our team. Opponent's going to keep their 7, and this just looks sensational. I actually have 3 fetches to go along with Uro, and I can just sort of chump block and then play Uro. So I will keep as well. Only thing that can make this hand a little bit better is if we draw into like a Path or like a Hierarch. Oh, they did play Ether Vial, and we forced it last game, which is pretty good. Well, they've got their Ether Vial this game. Another land, not the best. So we're probably going to go, I don't know. Doesn't look like Death Touch is that important right now. So probably like green, white, green, blue. Actually, probably like a green, black at some point. All right. Oh, funny that I took out Knight. I kind of forgot about the Ether Vial since we didn't have to deal with it last game since I just forced it. Yeah, Knight potentially pretty good. There's probably something slightly worse than it in the deck that I could have boarded out. All right, I imagine they're going to start playing vampires now. Surprise. All right, let's see how much ramp we can get between the Oracle and the Uro. I am going to want to cast the Uro sooner than later, so I think I might just crack this Vista and get another basic island. I can get more green later for Eternal Witness with Misty Rainforest. But if I I don't know. I guess it's hard to say when I would be able to cast Uro, but I think it's probably Uro and Eternal Witness sort of are at odds. I could go like basic and then go get. Well, we don't have our Singleton Siege Rhino, so I shouldn't really worry about getting black mana, particularly when the opponent plays Urborg. Basic, and then like Canopy Vista with the Misty. And I kind of feel like I want to block this Bloodghast. Nice. Well, they just got the Canopy Vista for me. All right. So ramp phase 1 accomplished. Like if we just keep chump blocking, it's just gonna make get Uro online that much faster. Another Ether Vial, love to see it. The Vampire Lord, I guess we'll see. This says when vampires die, put a +1 counter on other vampires. Did he just activate? Mutavault. Oh, he's pushing. Okay, just to grow the Mutavault. Fair enough. We are set to gain a decent amount of life. Opponent's going pretty aggro. They've only got 1 card left in hand, but they do have 8 power on board right now. Ephemerate was a beautiful draw there. Let's see. I mean, maybe just something as simple as playing out Charming Prince, holding up Ephemerate is just fine here. I guess, no, I could do Charming Prince and Uro if I ramp. If I want to. I mean, that's kind of an efficient way to use our mana. Another thing I could do would be to just play Witness and then Charming Prince Blink Witness. That probably seems best. Oh no, wait, I can't do that. The only way I get 2 more lands into play is if I play Uro. Let's go ahead and play an island. Play Uro. See what we draw. In theory, you know what? I probably should have princed first if I was going to scry, which I am going to scry. So I don't know that I've come across this particular like turn 3 or 4 before where like I was thinking about playing these 2 in conjunction with each other, but probably scrying first is the way to go. So that you know, we draw whatever we want with Uro. All right, I'm gonna play the Vista, continue to hold the Rainforest in case I do need to get black mana. I don't have a basic swamp. Well, this is any other creature dies. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So we've got green, green, white, white, blue, blue. Just get another green. Could gain life, but I don't think I'm going to die next turn. So I think I'll just scry. See what we got. Cord is pretty good. It's gonna get Stonehorn. Purge also seems pretty good. I'm gonna put Purge on top and then put Cord on top, I guess. Opponent is on 1 card. Top and then top. And we are just going to, assuming the opponent doesn't have another push for Charming Prince, we are going to be able to cord for Stonehorn next turn. We have Uro in the graveyard. Things are looking pretty good. Opponent up to 2 cards. They play a land, so I guess we have to wait and see what their last card is. If it's removal, it's a little bit rough, but if it's not removal, we're probably just sitting pretty. So what does that do? As long as the top card of your library is black, creatures get buffed, right? So that doesn't matter at all against Stonehorn. Okay, so there's the cord. Oh, you know what? I'm a little bit stupid. There's a Purge after this that I put on top of the deck. It doesn't really matter. It's just I'm going to shuffle it away. So I am going to probably just want to get, you know, yeah, I don't think black is that important right now, although my life total is probably also not that important. Just gonna pass, and then as they try to pass priority into the beginning of combat, I'm gonna crack this now so they can't respond by killing Charming Prince. Yeah, Stonehorn is a pretty good card. Pretty good magic card. That is my 6th card in the graveyard, so Uro is also officially online. Unfortunate that I can't get Stonehorn and hold up Ephemerate. But I don't think there's any way, like, opponent's empty-handed, so they can't just, like, rip, like, a fetch land and a Fatal Push to kill it. So we're going to get the Overgrown Tomb, I think. Anyway, I was just saying it doesn't really matter, but... all right. Good to go. Oh, you're right. It's right there. I do know that they're drawing Orborg. True. I got a little bit tunnel vision there on my line that I forgot that this Nocturnus lets me see what the opponent is drawing. So what does it say? As long as there's a black card on top of their library, things get big and have flying. I feel like vampire by itself is kind of a weird creature type. Like, aren't vampires also some other kind of creature? I mean, in books, it's usually humans, right? That just become vampires? Are vampires like a different... They're like aliens or something. I feel like it's humans that have been bitten on the neck, but who was the first vampire then? Vampire Jesus. Oh, I mean, I'm significantly behind on time, but the opponent is playing so slowly. Kind of silly to complain, I guess. All right. So now, okay? They're gonna activate Mutavault, and yeah, in response to that, I might as well just do my chord now, so that things don't go sideways accidentally. All of these cards, I'm gonna make black mana with them. Okay. Okie dokie, Stonehorn is in the house. They're drawing an inconsequential creature next turn, so we have plenty of time to just Eternal Witness for Chord, and then just get Soulherder, I guess. Need to be careful with our mana, though. So go like green, green, blue. We still have triple green. Yeah, seems decent. Also have Ephemerate, but green, green, blue. Chord of Calling. Yep. All right, green, green, green. Okay, that and whatever. I probably could have left up mana for Ephemerate. That just kind of poor, but yeah, kind of poor. Probably should have tapped Stonehorn. My bad. Forgot about Ephemerate for a second. But again, the opponent, we know what the opponent is drawing, so kind of not a big deal. Always room to play better, though. Okay. All right, so we could play another Eternal Witness for another chord next turn and get anything, I guess. And get Lavinia and open up a potential Alpha Strike. I feel like just casting Uro is probably fine. This, all right, so let's see what the opponent has on their top deck. It's just another pointless creature, so we can continue to sort of not really pay attention. So now I will be able to hold up Ephemerate since my plan is just to cast Uro. If I draw a land, I guess I could go like Witness and Uro. Opponent thinking if they want to keep playing or not. Yeah, I don't know either. It might actually be in my interest to get like more life gain, but oh, Purge? That's kind of cool too. I kind of like seeing what's on top of my opponent's deck. So I don't know that I want to purge their biggest and baddest creature here. I'm going to start by casting Uro, I think. And might as well just crack this at this point. Just get another forest. I mean, I'm sort of relatively low on time, but not really. I might as well get, like, Prairie Stream, I guess. Okay, let's go, Uro. What you got for me? Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, unclick Oracle, and 4 and 5. 6. What? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. I hate that it takes like 30 seconds to cast Uro sometimes. Yeah, Vampire Nocturnus. I think I've seen it before, but if somebody asked me to tell you like the stats, I wouldn't be able to do it off the top of my head. Opponent reading Uro, unfamiliar with this card. Really only seeing play in this brew that I'm running. So understandable that he would have to read it. They're like really studying this card right now. Maybe they're checking out the sick art. Transfixed by Uro's Typhoon Mouth. I just noticed this arm I'm pointing, but you guys can't see where I'm pointing. On the right side of Uro's art, there's like an arm and it's like slapping a ship. And the other hand is in the foreground like this. So many words. Uro has like too many words. An abundance of words. A plethora of words. A cacophony of words. Oy. Yeah, I mean, you might want to get on that before. I think it's going to see a lot of play in Modern, this card. So get on it now before it kind of blows up in price. Maybe opponent is doing like the salty scoop where they like just go to the bathroom, go for a walk, and think about their life choices. La la la. So, I mean, let's think about what we could do while the opponent's wasting time. Like next turn, I could like purge, witness, purge, blink a witness, purge, ephemerate, purge. All right, how many purges can I cast right now? 1, witness, 2, blink, 3. So 3 in 1 turn. I don't have the mana for that though, so kind of an endless number, basically, since I could just get it back every turn if I want to. I think opponent has probably had enough of my shenanigans. Yeah, you know, there's a few of these in every set where it's just like, word salad, and they never really see any play. But it works pretty nicely in this little brew of mine here, I think. I do like this hand in the background. Whoosh, whoosh. It's like that chip doesn't know what hit it. Also, the water in the foreground is like really acidic green kind of looking. Not very healthy. These guys on the shore, you see those guys? I think they're like dragging somebody away from Uro. In the bottom right of the art. They should stay away from that water, I think. Looks a little too yellow for my tastes. Maybe Uro has been peeing in the pool. All right, so the opponent has lost connection at a strategic time. All right, let's check out some other art while we're waiting. So what is this fancy gentleman doing? He's got a pile of glasses. The glasses look to be filled with blood, which is appropriate at a vampire party, one would think. If you're not surrounded by decadence, my question to you is, why not? It's a good question, Mr. Aristocrat. Let's check out what your vampire friends have to say about that. This guy says, your life will set with the sun. More deep words from the vampire tribe. Please come in. Hors d'oeuvres are on the table. Get it, guys? Look, he's like, as a guy with blood. Hors d'oeuvres. Bloodgast? I don't know if Bloodgast actually would talk. He's just got like this crazy bloody face. This vampire kind of looks like a pile of rocks. With some light shining on it. Seems like there's a bunch of different characters like in the vampire tribe. Some of them are fancier than others, shall we say. Like this guy, obviously some kind of hedonist. He's got no shirt on, just like some fancy collar with blood dripping down it. And he's got like a chastity belt on. Jesus, what's going on in this house? Like, close those doors, buddy. Like, I want no part of what's happening inside. This guy's got other plans, Like, these guys are just like trust fund babies, Just like chewing on some villagers. And then you got this guy up in the mountains or whatever. It's like gathering the demons. Over here, Bloodgast, I don't know. Bloodgast has amazing art. But he doesn't seem like he's going to be going to those fancy guys' parties, right? He's just hanging out like at the graveyard. Which, is kind of like not the best place to hang out for vampires, since they usually want to drink blood, and not a lot of blood at the graveyard. What else? Oy. Which of our creatures would be the best meal for one of these vampires? Stonehorn, probably the worst, I would think. Although, maybe Soulherder is the best, because he doesn't have a neck, right? And he's otherwise just made out of bones. So, probably not that appealing for the vampires. Stonehorn is runner-up, though, because he's got all the armor, right? Like, if one of these, one of these aristocrats wants to get like freaky with the Stonehorn. Oh, yeah. He's just gonna get like a spike in his face from like the big shoulder pad. For all we know, there could be like some vampires in this crowd right now. Just all right. I gotta take a breath. It's too much fun. Yeah. So I mean, like humans, right? Those are like just normal, like sacks of blood, like delicious vampire food. Though to be honest, like this vampire doesn't look like he's really that into like chewing on people. He's more like a demon than a vampire, I think. He's just like sacrificing things. All right. I think this time the timeout is probably going to happen soon-ish. Because we cast Uro like 8 minutes ago. So, I don't know. Uro though, Uro's probably up there with Soulherder as far as like the worst vampire food. Like he's first of all not really alive, I guess. He's kind of like a spirit. So, but he's corporeal. He might have some kind of blood, but probably not the kind of blood that vampires like. Also he just looks really big, right? Like if you imagine the scale of one of these like fancy dudes, you can see them in the lower right, like art. Maybe these guys are like some vampires contemplating their recent choices that they've made that have brought them to the shore. I mean, whatever. This is like the worst. In the past, and actually, honestly, like maybe once I'm done streaming, I might report this person, because this is just stupid. Like I pretty much always report when people do this. If I get to like an utterly winning board state, literally where the opponent is showing me that like they can't do anything, and then they time out and make me waste 10 minutes of my life and of your guys' lives, though I think that our fun time with the vampires was actually kind of worth it. They should get punished strictly. I think the vampires kind of like punishment, gluttons for punishment. This guy probably likes to get spanked, I think. Please punish me, Watsy. Punish me hard. Man, Soulherder is like the best art. The best art ever. The vampires tend to have pretty beautiful hair. Look at that guy. He's got like the curling iron in the bathroom. He's plugged in, warming up, ready to go. This guy, man, just came from the barber, looking fresh. Got his eyebrows tweezed. Might have some like eyeshadow on. I can't really tell what's going on with his eyes. Look at all those chandeliers. Like, at what point do you have too many chandeliers? I think this guy has crossed the threshold on like enough chandeliers into like too many. It's way too many. The one on the right looks like it has like a few dead light bulbs, right? It's not glistening. Oh my god, there's more. Do you guys see in like the middle right of the art, there's like chandeliers fading away into the distance. So the art actually has 7 chandeliers. I thought 4 was too much. This guy has at least 7. There's probably some kind of grid pattern where his body is blocking some of the other chandeliers, and this Eiffel Tower of blood glasses certainly also blocking some distant chandeliers. Man, we're all gonna be experts on like these exact 4 cards arts. You know what? Let's compare Indulgent Aristocrat's party to Charming Prince's party, because they look like they could be at the same place. Honestly, we've got a little arched opening in the background, some draperies. This guy's got some arches going on in the background. Maybe this is like across town, right? Charming Prince is on like the human side. It's like West Side Story, humans versus aristocrats, vampires. Excuse me. Man, Wizards with the amount of time they make you wait for an actual timeout. I thought it was like, it used to be 7 minutes. I think they may change it to like 8 minutes, but this has been 12 minutes now. Vampire is at the after party. Yeah, maybe he's blending in here. I wouldn't doubt that like that person, male or female, on the left side of the art, that could be a vampire, right? A little vampire spy in that fancy red outfit. Yeah. Nah, Charming Prince is a good guy. I mean, I guess if you get bit in the neck and get turned into a vampire, you can't really get blamed for that, right? Like the guy in red is like sneaking up on him. Gonna take him into a closet. I don't know. You guys all know the whole joke with Charming Prince, right? That he's like a Azorius charm or something, where you've got 3 modes, like any of the charms, like Boros charm or Azorius charm. It's like it's such a clever card. I mean, when you get like people as smart as the dorks at Wizards of the Coast, like you inevitably get like all sorts of puns creeping into your game. This one is just particularly brilliant. I love it. And it was in the set about fairy tales, right? This Prince Charming, Charming Prince. It's just like next level. We are actually going to see this guy time out. I don't really know how that works. I think maybe in queues or I don't know. Whatever. Hey, Drake, you timed it. You joined just after I spent 12 minutes talking about the art on these vampire cards. I think this is probably my favorite. The number of chandeliers just makes it hard to not pick over the other guys. All right. So are we gonna have to keep waiting even after the opponent has literally gotten to 0 seconds? Something wrong with our magic? Magic. What's going on? It's not like I think it's like Magic Online has lost connection. Like I haven't lost connection. Magic Online has sort of crapped the bed here. No, if any of you guys can find more chandeliers, find it. Find the art. I will send you a signed Indulgent Aristocrat. And I don't know if you guys have seen my signature, like from my Merfolk signing days, but it's pretty sick. I am going to minimize this, and we'll like double queue while this one decides if it wants to give me the win or not. Oh, all right, there we go. Good job, Magic. Jesus Christ, what a piece of software they have on their hands here. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. That game took entirely too long. Hey guys. So thanks for being good sports, hanging around while my opponent had extremely bad manners. Yeah, I mean, Oro probably scared the opponent away. I was just like the straw that broke the camel's back, even though like they literally couldn't attack for the rest of the game. I mean, even if they did somehow draw into removal, I still had Ephemerate, so it was like, it's kind of a joke. And I will be reporting that guy. If any of you guys experience bad manners while you're playing Gesundheit, I encourage you to just go online, type in like Wizards of the Coast, submit a complaint or whatever, and it'll take you like right to the page you have to go to. It only takes like 3 minutes. Just type in like opponent disconnected as soon as I established a winning board state, and they waited for me to time out. I've probably done it like I probably reported like 10 people over the years. It doesn't happen that often, but if you want the environment to get like more positive, I feel like you have to go slightly out of your way as good people to punish the bad people and make Magic more enjoyable for everybody. All right, so let's see if it takes another like 10 minutes to find another opponent. Wow, Swizzy. I would say that you should probably just go to Gatherer and do an advanced search for all the vampires. Because out of everybody who might have chandeliers, it's almost certainly vampires. Like, they're just pretty decadent. Like, I bet you can find a chandelier in Olivia Voldaren's art where she's like flying through the air at some kind of party. All right, this is a good hand. It's a good hand. I'm gonna play that Prairie Stream. Get it onto the. All right, looks like we have a good opponent here. He says, "Hi, have fun. Hey, you too. Thank you. I'm certainly going to keep. It's a really beautiful hand. I mean, Lavinia, pretty easy to pitch to force, but be careful when you do that because these singleton effects, like later in the match, I might want to chord for Lavinia only to not be able to find it. So let's be careful. Opponent is keeping 7 as well. I'm serious. If any of you guys find more chandeliers, and I did count 7 chandeliers. I don't even know what the name of that card was that I just saw, so I counted 7 chandeliers in that art. If you find more chandeliers, I will send you a signed version of whatever card that was. And then you can sell it on eBay for like $100,000. This looks like it might be a good matchup for Force of Negation. A Mystic Sanctuary, most obnoxious card in Magic. Okay, I'm just gonna play this Breeding Pool. Life totals probably don't matter. Yep. His opponent have a main deck. What did he say? Countert balance? Opponent is like egregiously spelling words badly. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that if I can. Countert Balmis. Oh, he's just trying to call my deck. Like, way to go, opponent. You called it. Countert Balmans. Lightning Bolt. They didn't even get that far. It's like they don't even have enough letters. They ran out of vowels. Balm, like a soothing balm. Countert Balms. Cavern of Souls. Guys, you should be playing more cues. This is sick. Cavern of Souls. That's not what I expected to see. All right, it'd be nice to stop drawing lands at some point. This looks like some kind of countert magic. So I'll probably just pass the turn and try to play Ice Fang. Quater. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for Shaman. Things are about to get real spicy. Oh, missing a land. Ice. All right, opponent, here's your chance. Here's your chance. Countert spell. Oh, they did not countert it. I think I get green black. And Jesus, how many lands are we gonna draw? Don't really feel like. I mean, if they're playing like Archmage's Charm is like triple blue, isn't it? They can't even play that right now. Yeah, I'll go for the Soulherder here, I guess, right? And make him have it. I hope this doesn't get counterspelled remand. Feels bad. Feels real bad. Well, whatever they're trying to do, I mean, it's some kind of combo or something. Could be like a Kiki-Jiki deck or something. Kiki-Jiki is not a shaman. I feel like we're gonna get blown out some way. Whenever I play against these sneaky blue-red decks, like, just get, like, randomly destroyed. Getting every non-basic land out of my deck. That's how I roll. Oh, he is a shaman. So yeah, I called it. All right, we need some removal or something. Because we're about to get like pestermited. What do I even do? What a weird hand. Pester misteded. I could just play coiling witness and get back coiling oracle. Seems sort of fine. This lack of basics makes attacking into Pestermite. Oh well, Pestermite. I mean, yeah, Pestermite does have flying, but it is 1 toughness, so I doubt that they would block. Whatever. Let's go. Going ham with the Ice Fang Coatl. Remanded. Oh. So opponent does have triple red currently. So we are definitely about to lose, but whatever. Not much we can do. We've got 1 path in the main deck. Yeah. No, it's all good. I know it's coming. I know what I'm dealing with here. Surprise, guys. Flash. This is exactly what the old Splinter Twin decks used to do. It's so annoying. Like, you're just trying to do something, just have fun. And in a queue, I am absolutely not going to make this dude play this out. So, well done, opponent. GG. Creature combo. But Kiki does get hit by, like, Celestial Purge, so we can bring in 2 pieces of relevant removal. Seems like Teferi might be okay. Seems like Worship is it's like a damage-based combo, right? Get Worship down. Spore Frog also shuts the combo off. Winds of Abandon. It's not instant speed. Veil, real solid. Pithing Needle. Can dig it. Teferi seems good. Make them play all their stuff on their turn. Lavinia, Kiki is outside of the Lavinia bounds, so I'm going to take out Lavinia, I think. Although the creatures that they're copying are not outside, so... Stonehorn seems fairly relevant. Soulherder gets bolted. I feel like I can trim 1 Soulherder. Grindy combo matchup. Probably not the best for Uro. Like, they're not really killing a ton of my things, I don't think. Knight of Autumn? I mean, it could be a Blood Moon deck, right? Knight of Autumn could just be a beater also, I guess. Deputy, not so great. I mean, it is interaction, like removal I can chord for, so maybe I'll keep it in. I mean, they could very easily play Blood Moon. These blue-red decks, I'd say north of 50-50 on playing Blood Moon. I don't imagine there's going to be a lot of sweepers. I'll go ahead and sideboard out Charming Prince, even though I've told you guys that's a mistake in the past. It's not a spell-based combo deck, so I'm probably just going to trim 2 of the Force of Negations. 2 more cards to take out. Trim 1 more Soulherder. And... Jesus, I don't know. 30 seconds to make a decision here. I don't know. A dork? Since there, I don't know. Gotta trim something. Oracle. You're getting cut. Yeah. I'm gonna regret sideboarding out Charming Prince. I give you guys the lecture. Oh, hey, that's a decent hand. Keep that. Okie dokie. So if they untap and bolt this thing, then I have to get a. Oh, my only blue white. My only blue white is Prairie Stream. I'm about to get wrecked right now. I keep forgetting to change that. Like if it's only one of them, it should be Hallowed Fountain. It's like I just imported like an old build. Jeez, can't play Coiling Oracle on turn 2. Come on, blue mana, you can do it. Oh, deck. Thank you. I could have also just I could have gotten Breeding Pool. So Breeding Pool just presenting itself. Land? Yes. Right. So now I can get still have the Siege Rhino, but only one of them. So I'm not really gonna aggressively get black mana. Opponent representing Remand here. Yeah, I think I'll just grab that Prairie Stream right now. I would love like some kind of like a Coatl would be awesome here. Chord is also pretty good because now I can like pass and chord for like 2. If they try to counter it, I can Veil. Just let me play that. Try to sort of pretend like I went to combat and then accidentally passed through my attack step. Oh yeah. Actually, we can't chord for 2 and hold up Veil of Summer, right? So probably should have gotten my 2 damage in there. Well, whatever. We'll see what the opponent does. So if they're opting here, I almost feel like I should just rip this chord off right now. Otherwise, I mean, what am I doing? Spell Pierce or something? All right. So just get an Ice Fang. I guess. I mean, is Oracle just better? Yeah, Ice Fang. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Venser is a good one. We're not quite at. Oh, we are. We are at Venser plus Veil. Well, that's pretty nice, actually. Something like an Ephemerate would be pretty nice. Hey, that's a good one. So, I mean, the plan is attack. They're going to try to, like, eat one of my dudes with, like, a Pestermite, and I'm just going to Venser that back to their hand. That kind of thing. Or I could just... yeah, I guess I'm probably priced into Vensering. Oh, hey. He's going to pass the turn. Gonna pass the turn. Could also just bounce one of their lands when they tap down here. Snapcaster for opt. Seems like, I mean, they might have brought in Mystical Dispute, but then I have the Veil. I kind of like bouncing a land with Venser. But we'll let this. Do we want to let it resolve? I mean, we could do this on the stack. If they do have the dispute, they could go for it. I could Veil. I feel like bouncing the red mana seems like a good play. It's going to force them to sort of use some of their mana like more aggressively, in which case I could tap out for Urian. What are they doing here? Oh, they're veiling my Venser. That's nasty. Okay. They can't cast anything, so no value Snapcaster. Although they drew off of the Veil, so whatever. pretty decent play for the opponent. They had a Veil of their own. Opponent didn't expect Venser. Well, you know what they say. Another Snapcaster. Okay. Am I gonna get a bolted deaded Venser? The plus side here is that should get to tap out for a pretty sweet Urian next turn. A land would be awesome so that I can continue to hold up a Veil through Mystical Dispute. All right, there's a land. What do we want? We've got plenty of green. Probably go get another blue. I should have attacked first. No. So noobish. Whatever. Whatever. I caught my own mistake before anybody else did. Blah. Missing the attack is terrible. I think the Stonehorn's going to be pretty good. If they try to counter something next turn, I could just Stonehorn Veil, and then you know, Kiki wants to win through combat, so I guess they could keep Kikiing the Snapcaster, but they don't have a lot in the graveyard. All right, well, he drew an Ephemerate, which makes me feel silly for only leaving up green. I could have easily left up green-white, but like specifically it was like, I'm not going to leave up green-white. But if they do play Blood Moon, I guess it's correct. Oh, we've got a pretty stacked graveyard. All right, they're tapping some stuff. There's that Blood Moon. Pretty nice. Actually, we have no white mana now. It's problematic. But, you know, we're winning as things stand, so not super concerned with that. Not super concerned. We do have one basic planes and 41 cards. We'll get there. Who was saying that we don't have hey, that's beautiful. I think I probably left in the night, right? Specifically, this was a conversation that happened. Is it like a real thing that happened? Yeah, it's just blow up Blood Moon right now. Could attack for 5. I've got green, blah blah blah. I would like to leave up green for Veil of Summer though. So green, white. Go green. I just do this right now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 and leave up both spells, I think, is pretty good. I'm done. Yeah, Knight of Autumn seems good. Peace out, Blood Moon. All right, pretty good spot to be in now. Opponent could always do like the bolt, snap, bolt plan, but they've already played 2 of their snapcasters. I've got lethal. Don't really see a reason to block here. As things stand. I could always ephemerate to gain life if they try to like drain me out. Yeah, are they gonna try to like tap my team? In which case that's pretty decent. Should I go for... I feel like I should ephemerate Urian, and then they'll try to counter it, and then I'll veil that. Seems like value. Don't tap that land, though. Do it, opponent. Cryptic Command. I've been a bad boy. Oh, what are they doing? Tapping 1? Huh. Alright, they let it resolve. Okie dokie. We're gonna blink a bunch of stuff. Done. And yeah, let's draw some cards. Do we make this guy big? I feel like I gain life. I don't know what the opponent's doing here. I've got lethal as things stand. Just gain some life. You guys can yell at me, making bad decisions. Pithing Needle. Another Ephemerate. This time I'll just go for like Coatl. Oh, what's happening? Have they decided to take action? I think I might have sided out like all my forces. Nah, just 2 forces. Ephemerate. Okay, these are good cards. Not drawing lands. Yeah, I mean, we've got lethal. So, I mean, Cryptic will tap my team down. Oh, wait, no. If it targets me, it should just get countered, right? Let's see how it goes. They could also just have like a Snappy to flash in. Oh, hey, Pestermite. I should probably play Veil now, right? Well, does it tap all opponents' creatures? Does it tap target creatures' opponents? Psych. This is sort of fine, right? Because I'm just going to Veil again. Opponent just scooped, I guess. Which is weird because they have blocks. They have blocks for my flyer anyway. Like, what a silly time to scoop. We did have a pretty awesome hand. Let's see what we were going to draw. Man, all right. All right, well, thanks, guys, for letting me know that Cryptic doesn't target an opponent. Seems like that card would be pretty good in EDH then. Just, like, tap the entire board. Like, any creatures, you're going to tap them. I feel like my setup is fine. I don't know that there's anything else that I want to bring in. In theory, Spore Frog gains us a turn against them comboing out, potentially many turns if we can recycle it. You guys think that Spore Frog is good here against the Kiki combo, which needs to win through combat? Spore Frog? Yes, no? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I feel like any interaction with what they're trying to do seems pretty good, no? Well, it frogs for a turn, but then you can get it back from the graveyard, with Ephemerate and Eternal Witness. And it gives us an extra draw to like rip a removal spell for Kiki Jiki. All right, I've got 2 positive votes, so what should I board out then? I could just trim another dork, probably. I don't know. Siege Daddy? I don't know. It's kind of a nice win condition, though, is it not? Yeah, I don't know. Also, All right. Trim Siege Rhino, I guess. I guess I kind of agree with that. Sort of, kind of. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Spending too much time like figuring out that 60th card. Yeah, 5 lands. No can do. Opponent, immediate mulligan, and I could turn 2 Soulherder, draw into anything. They are mulliganing. But it doesn't have enough value. I'm a mulligan. Oh my god. Oh my god. Deck. Not like this. Ugh, okay, alright. Well, we've got some cards we can play. Like turn 1, turn 2. Potentially ephemerating on turn 2 if we hit a land. If we hit a land, we can turn 3 worship. Wait, I gotta put 2 cards on the bottom. If we're gonna keep, we have to bottom one of these lands, no doubt. It seems like bottoming the Rainforest seems the way to go. Probably gonna bottom the Cord. We're not gonna have resources enough to Cord anytime soon. All right, let's do it. Opponent's on 5, on 6. We're on 5 on the draw. Not a world of difference. All right, well, that's a step in the right direction. They do love tapping out for their Kiki Jiki, so Celestial Purge, pretty nice. Definitely want to draw lands at this point, though. Hey, deck. Sometimes you listen to me. I could wait to play Coiling Oracle so that I have up Ephemerate, but should probably think about that because, like, if it's just gonna get bolted, we only have 1 creature in hand. But they mulliganed. I don't know. And we do need creatures for worship to be relevant. I feel like it's probably correct to just pass and play Oracle. But then if they counter Oracle, that's just rough. So whatever. If they want to bolt it, they can bolt it. Okay, hitting a land. We can turn 3 worship if we feel like. Oh, opponent without the bolt. Feels good. This looks like a... what are they doing here? Vendilion Click. This is probably going to ship worship, unless they have Force of Negation in hand. They're probably going to take the Celestial Purge, I guess, right? They took the Ephemerate, of all things. That just seems wrong. Wrong opponent. I mean, if they have Force, that's kind of good, I guess, but it's definitely an opportunity to cast, like, Worship with their shields down. If they want to force it, that's fine with me. Maybe they think they can just deal with my creatures, I guess, but we have a lot of creatures in our deck. They also have Cryptic Command. I'm going to attack here. Actually, I'm not, because Worship is on the battlefield. And Cryptic can bounce Worship, but it's just another thing that they have to do, right? Like, now they're just bolting random dorks for no reason. All of this seems pretty good. I'm gonna play this tapped, because I can't imagine I'm going to play Purge and the other spells this turn. And I'm not main phasing this because they have Remand up. They can keep beating in all they want. I am going to do my best to lean on this Worship, I think. If they have another Bolt, we get to try to Ephemerate. Although they know we have Ephemerate, right? So probably not going to go for it. Chord is kind of cool. Okie dokie. Teferi. Good card. Good magic card. Might even just bounce this stupid Vendilion Click. I think I might just Chord on their next turn. Try to beef up our Worship. I do like trying to get Teferi down. The opponent can click me again. In response to which I can Chord. Let me get a Veil right here. Oh, Pestermite, huh? So what are they going to target with the Pestermite? Try to tap my blue land, I guess, right? Fair enough. I didn't want to risk the Ephemerate running into a Lightning Bolt on my only creature. So, I think I'm going to Chord here. Can Chord for up to a 3-drop, but I think I'd probably prefer to leave Ephemerate up. Now they could untap and play Kiki Jiki, which is problematic. So it seems like I might just want to try to deal with this Pestermite. I could also just get Spore Frog, right? For 1, and then leave up 2 for Ephemerate and Celestial Purge. If they do play they do tap out for Kiki Jiki. Yeah, that's true too. I think Deputy with Ephemerate is probably... Well, no, I can't, right? Because unless I draw a land... I think I'm just going to get Spore Frog. Honestly, we're going to give it a chance to shine. All right, you do your thing, little froggy. Blue mana here would be kind of cool, because then I can just go for Teferi, I think. If the opponent has a dispute, we can just sack the Spore Frog on their turn. Seems like playing a creature is probably a good thing to do here. I mean, Purge is shields down for a second, but we've got Spore Frog, in theory, as long as they don't bolt it right now. But we can Ephemerate it if they try to bolt it. All right, so we got Worship. We've got creatures. We've got Ephemerate. We've got Spore Frogs. Okay. I mean, I guess at this point I can try to Ephemerate. And if they let it go, then we draw some cards. I do have to play slightly faster. Dispelling it. Bold. All right, Drew and Ephemerate. I love it. I am going to attack here. We do have to win eventually. I should have played Teferi first. That was lame. But apparently I'm not getting punished. So maybe we just bounce the this dude. Now then they can kill Teferi. Can they kill it anyway with 5? Yeah, I guess they can, right? So I guess we return the I want to bounce this Coatl. They're gonna be able to kill Teferi though. I guess I could. I could also just sack Spore Frog, right? Now I can sack Spore Frog. Teferi stays alive. Hopefully we draw a an Eternal Witness, and yeah, who knows? I guess we'll have to see how it goes. Oh, they just scooped. What? So the scoops tonight have been so random. I guess mostly against this guy. The first opponent with the vampires didn't scoop at all. Yeah. That was really interesting. Spore Frog, right? Spore Frog, super cool card. What do you guys think about how that played out? Would have sacked this, would have played this, drawn a card. Oh my god, Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness getting back Spore Frog. It's sick, I love it. And then I could have just ephemerated like infinitely with Teferi backup. Yeah, super nice. Sorry, opponent said GG, and I just noticed, so I did want to say GG, thank you. This is the guy who was saying the countered balms. This was a really nice draw also, off of the bounce with Teferi, because it let me play it out and also just leave up Coatl. So things just like coalescing really nicely there in that sort of mid-game situation. Yeah, I think we just sort of dissected that Kiki deck pretty roundly there. We're a little bit backed up on mana, but honestly, like, not to the point that we can't do what we want to do. Yeah, I just like Spore Frog in combination with Cord. It's very similar, I think, to like Burnt and Forge Tender in the sense that it has like a outsized effect for the cost involved, right? Like if we play a Dork on turn 1 and then a land and then a creature, I guess the earliest we could ever Cord for anything is probably turn 3. But having that kind of a strong effect to be able to start courting for that early. Like I was playing, maybe you guys were with me this weekend when I played against this super aggressive red deck that just goes like crazy wide with a bunch of signal pests and bushwhackers, that kind of thing. Like Spore Frog would have won me that game like easily, super easily. Because there were situations also where I had like Eternal Witness in hand, but not enough resources to cast Eternal Witness, excuse me, and then be able to cord for like Stonehorn Dignitary. So filling that gap, like before we get to Stonehorn Dignitary against like humans or any aggro deck, just blanking one big attack can be awesome, because then we get to untap, play a bunch more dorks, potentially chump a big creature, get to a spot where we can safely cord for Stonehorn, and then start establishing some kind of lock. So yeah, Spore Frog. I think it's a really sick addition to the deck. All right, so I mean that might be it for now. Honestly, my voice is a little bit sore tonight. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit about like what I'm doing with my 60 card deck right now. Yeah, maybe I'll make an emote for you guys at a Spore Frog. Depends on like how good it ends up being, but this could be a pretty cool little emote. Speaking of emotes, I can't really make more emotes unless I get more followers. So let all your friends know about Monday Night Soulherder, Wednesday Night Merfolk. Tell them to follow me, and you guys can get all the emotes that you want. I can make a like a thinking Spore Frog. Should I sack myself now or should I wait? But yeah, good Magic tonight. Fun against vampires. I'm gonna go report that guy now. So yeah, all the sideboard cards pretty huge. We cast, I don't know, did we cast Veil for value? Can't remember. I think we just lost before I could cast Veil for value, but obviously Veil is like one of the best spells in Modern, so having access to it is pretty important, I think. Yeah, no reason to question anything in the sideboard right now. Pithing Needle, always surprising me how strong it is. Yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. Pretty short stream tonight. Hope I showed that, obviously I'm not playing against like the top of Modern right now, playing against vampires and Kiki Jiki, but 60 card Soulherder, definitely still functional. Urian in the main deck, definitely still functional. Or definitely functional. I think it's pretty much never been in the main deck up till now. Yeah. Veil of Summer, so good. Spore Frog, so good. I'm really, really happy with Spore Frog. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you feel like joining me for Merfolk on Wednesday, I'd appreciate it. It'll be, around 8 o'clock like usual. But yeah, until then, I'll be in the Discord if you guys have any ideas about 60 card Soulherder with Urian, without Urian. Let me know in the Discord. I'll see you guys there. Bye.